Hello and welcome, my beloved Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. I had trouble getting out the word Aquarian for some reason. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read for November and December 2020. I'm your reader, Archangelo Lyons, Mel for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, the Archangel of Lyons, Archangelo Lyons. My friends call me Mel, so please do. Hi, my friends. Hey, hey, hey. My subscribers, much friendly vibes and love to my Aquarians out there of all shapes, sizes, freaks of the zodiac that you are, and I've always had an Aquarian friend in my life in some way, shape, or form. Welcome, welcome back. We took a little trip to Saratoga to see my family, get my car serviced because I bought it up there and I get free service, so why not? Saw my new little brother, the Himalayan kitten, Giovanni, was wonderful. He's a little furry potato. I love him. Been glitchy all morning. Let's just go with it. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, so I got to see my little kitten if you saw my community page. Where I'm like a mohawk. He came into my bedroom. He slept with me for a little bit and I put him on my head. It was a lovely, lovely time. Anyway, I'm back. I went to Magic Moon in Saratoga Springs, saw Veronica, gave her a reading. Got a new Oracle deck, which I will be debuting at some point this week or next. Anyway, so I'm back at work. I'm at my desk, my dining room table, and ready to rock and roll, and I hope you are too. Let's talk work, career, and vocation. It's a 9-card spread. I'm using 3 different decks. Carolyn Myss Archetype deck, Daughter of the Moon Tarot, Mythic Tarot, to look at the archetypal dynamics, the interior dynamics, and the exterior dynamics in your work, career, vocation. 3 levels of power, all connected, each connected to chakras as well. I'll explain all of that as I go through the reading. The guides and all of that will take over at some point, as they always do. But essentially, we're looking at your work, what you do to survive in the world, the physical world, your career, your internal passion, hunger, and thirst, right, which you crave to do, right? Your passion, what drives you in the psychological world, heart, throat, third eye, and crown, if you like, right? Lower 3 chakras, survival, heart, throat, third eye, crown, creativity, creative intuition, right? That internal psychological world. And of course, the 8th chakra over the head, your vocation, your spiritual calling. Get all of those in alignment, and do take time to do so. That's why when I do these readings, it's always for 2 months, because these things do take time usually, though there can be abrupt changes. So we're going to look at these dynamics so that you get a little clarity, guidance, and grace from my guides through these 3 decks and my intuitive skills, shall we? Remember, it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, right? Because particularly your sun sign might get things more about work, sun being the masculine, the external. Your moon sign more about career or vocation, right? Let's just do this. Let's see what hits the table, shall we? I think that's about it. Yep, work, career, vocation, general read, breathe. And as always, the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box, along with lots and lots of links for other stuff for your journey if you want to check it out. Otherwise, let's do this. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, I need 3 cards for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their work, career, vocation, November and December 2020. Please, first card down, put them all face down. First card, their work, physical world, lower 3 chakras, what they do to survive. What's the dynamic of the archetypal dynamics there for their career, heart, throat, third eye, and crown, their passion, their hunger, their thirst, creatively. What's going on there? And that 8th chakra, their vocation, their spiritual calling, their mystical whoosy what's this, what's going on there? What's going on there in their 8th chakra, in their vocation, November, December 2020. Now that felt interesting. That felt very, very interesting, that last one down. I got that in the Capricorn read I just did. Their career got like a real like zzz, when it hit the table. So let's see who you're dealing with your own shit. Oh, wow. Okay, now this is an intense read. This is already the archetypes you have on the table. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You've got the wild card of the vampire archetype. Now, this might not be you. This might not be you. This is in the physical world. You might be dealing with a vampire archetype in your work situation. Parasites much? I mean, the vampire, oh, by the way, there's a video on my channel called Vampires and Witches. I did it many, many years ago. It's me teaching for 2 hours, a 2-hour lecture, Q&A and stuff as well with the audience. Go check it out because it deals with the vampire archetype in all sorts of different ways. Now, these cards are triggering because they have shadow and light. The shadow is what you don't want to look at, the lead, or that you know about, you don't want anybody to know about, right? Your own hidden toxicity or maybe somebody else's. And the goal, the light attribute is what you're shooting for, right? So this totally makes sense in a work situation. Shadow attributes, depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining and codependency. Now, you know if that's you with the chronic complaining and codependency, right? Everybody wants to romanticize vampires, but they're parasites. And they're really just, they're not cut off from source. They're just not experiencing their connection, right? So they have to source off people horizontally instead of vertically, right? That's why you throw them out in sunlight, they explode, they melt down too much, right? They have to take it at a lower vibe. Hence, they have to drain their people. I mean, if you're not watching What We Do in the Shadows, Guillermo! My mom and I both have a thing for Nandor. It's a good thing. He's a fictional character. The light attribute, though, and this is where I think here's an opportunity for you to be the vampire slayer, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Now, honey, I've been there in a work situation. I used to work at Borders Books and Music. I was a community relations coordinator. Started as a bookseller. Within 3 months, they made me a supervisor. 3 months after that, I became CRC. I did all the programs, right? The events, the public relations, all of that stuff. This is back in the 90s. I loved that job. I had my own office, my own private phone line, my own computer, which, you know, it's the 90s. Let's not get too excited. The little hamster got tired on the wheel. But, you know, there were days, though, where I would just walk in, the energy would drain out of me. It wasn't soon after I got the inspiration to start drawing the Circle Productions in 1998, right? So there's something draining you at work, or are you draining? Is your work drain? Like, in other words, this can even be the work that you're doing is vampiric, right? It's not, maybe not even another person involved here, but that's what we've got the other cards to look at. So that's your physical world. That does make sense. Your career, the seeker. So you might not really have an idea, or you might be in between career impulses in terms of, I don't know what my passion is. I got to go dip some toes, right? I got to go try some stuff out. Now, the seeker in its shadow, inability to commit to a path once found, right? So you find the thing that really speaks to you, that is your passion, but you're like, I don't know. Let me see what else is out there. There's an apathy that comes automatically with too many options, right? Netflix. So much to watch. Don't want to watch any of it. Why? Because if I watch this, I can't watch that. But if I watch that, what about that? What about, and you just like, let me just shut the thing off, right? So I get that. Like when you're seeking something, it can be exhausting, right? So even once you find it, you're like, oh, fungal, who cares, right? The light attribute, though, well, particularly if your energy is drained, the light attribute, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever you go. Look, if you let that be the light that guides you through this, that light will chase away the vampires. You're like, what am I learning here? What's the truth in this situation? Now, here's the thing. Truth is light. So what's a vampire's relationship to light? It burns. Sacrilege. Very Frank Langella of me. Twitchy eyes. Your vocation, though, you got the Destroyer, and don't freak out. It's a good card. And I love that Caroline chose artwork that involved a volcano. Volcanoes, yes, are incredibly destructive, but volcanic ash is some of the most mineral-rich fertilizer on planet Earth. No shit, right? Look at the Polynesian Islands, right? Look at Hawaii. Look at the Pacific Rim, right? All of those volcanic islands just like pineapples, bigger than your own head. The shadow attribute, intoxication with destructive power. He said, looking back at the bookshelf full of magical tools, and right? No, I'm not going there, not today. Destroying others' dreams and potentials, though. Bubble poppers. The light attribute, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. I think that's what's going on. I think that there's been a lot of destruction in your world. I mean, 2020, chalk it up, right? Chalk it up to the 2020, 9020200. But with the seeker, that would make sense, right? So crown chakra, you might not be experiencing this quite yet in the physical form. In the physical form, you might be dealing with something parasitic and codependent and vampiric. I mean, entire companies, corporations can be vampiric, right? So really, I don't feel like this is you. I'm not calling you a vampire, though everybody may have a touch of that archetype here and there at times. We all drain people when we're drained. But this is different. This is like physically draining to you. So it would make sense that your crown chakra is like, well, guess what? We are going to blow up that fucking vampire through you in one way or another, either disconnect you or just throw them out in the sunlight, chop their head off, stuff some garlic in their mouths, throw them in running water, stake them in the heart. You know, a wooden stake will work for humans too. You know, it's just very efficient mode, ash, wood, or otherwise, that this is going to be blown up because your new life, but it's going to make its way down. This makes sense. With the seeker and the vampire, totally makes sense. Guillermo. I love that little talking doll. I want to get one from my mom. I bet she gets one for me. If it exists, she'll find it for me. Under the tree. Under the tree. I can't believe no one's done that. Breathe. Because now we're going with our goddesses. Daughters of the Moon Tarot. 3 cards. What's this going on? What's this like inside? What's this feel like to you, right? What's your more internal yin aspect going on with these 3 levels of power? Breathe. Yes, my goddesses of air and the sign of Aquarius, Athena, oh great gray-eyed one in particular, please. 3 cards in clarity for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their work, career, vocation. November and December 2020, please. With that vampire archetype, what's going on inside of them? Lower 3 chakras, solar plexus, sacrum, and root. In their career, they've got the seeker archetype, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. Can you clarify that, please? Their interior experience, and for their crown chakra, the destroyer archetype in their vocation. What's going on inside of them with that? Let's find out. Well, the vampire comes with the 5 of flames, the 5 of wands. It's a battle. It's a battle. It's a power struggle. It's Pele, the volcano, right? Stuff that's boiling under the surface. Now, I'm going to say, if you're dealing with an actual individual here, this is their own rage and pain that has nothing to do with you. It is just stuff that they can't deal with at home or in their personal life or their own shortcomings or whatever it is, but they're angry. And I don't think they're angry at you. I just think they're angry. Oh, Celestine Prophecy. Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, the 4 control dramas. This person might be an intimidator. Or they might be bringing that up in you. They might be bringing you up. Do you see a similarity of imagery here? I feel like this destroyer archetype here might very well want to destroy this vampire, which really, the truth will do it. Yes, forgiveness too. That's the stake in the heart. Go watch the video. Go watch Vampires and Witches, trust me. Why is it wooden? Because, you know, an iron rod will do it too, right? Why does it have to be a wooden stake? It has to do with the organic move of forgiveness, but that do take time, just like a tree isn't grown overnight. So a very interesting dynamic here. I mean, this is definitely combative. Now, you're growing as a result of it. Like I said, there's this stuff inside of you that is this volcanic, right now it's molten, right? When it comes up and out, it is going to fertilize your life, but it will also destroy some things like, I'm sorry, you got to weed the garden. You have to, the process of decay and entropy is just necessary. There's no gain without loss. There's no loss without gain. Loss and gain. Mel Brooks. G, in the Seeker, you have got the 6 of Blades. Now, the card is called Manipulation, but it is a mental card. So the Seeker is just doing that. It's sort of looking at, well, it's spin, right? Like political spin or social spin, where you take something and you kind of spin it around, but it's a balanced thing. Like, think 6 of Swords, going from choppy water to smooth. Definitely perfect for a Seeker archetype, heart, third eye, and crown. So you might very well be trying to find the truth in all of this and see it differently, and maybe even see it from the other person's point of view to kind of, I don't want to say quell the fire inside of you, but to temper it, right? To channel it. Because the thing... like Colin, isn't that his name on What We Do in the Shadow, right? What We Do in the Shadows is just like, he just annoys you. He just annoys you, and just drains you until you're boom, right? Fall asleep at your desk, right? Just pass out. I love when he got promoted. It's such a good episode. I love that series. My mom and I text each other back and forth when that's on. Like, we're 15-year-olds giggling. So much fun. So yeah, there's some mental manipulation going on here, perhaps, but it feels like you're turning this over and over in your mind, trying to bring this into some kind of compassionate balance, at least for yourself, so you just don't destroy this person completely. I mean, my sense is even you could destroy them just by telling the truth, which is usually the case with vampires, right? It's like, I say to people all the time, you don't worry about me lying about you, what I know anyway, right? What the damage I could do with the truth alone, right? And sometimes that's necessary, right? Like, how does the prince get to Sleeping Beauty through all those brambles, right? He uses the sword of truth and the shield of honor, Your Honor. In your vocation, though, you've got the Destroyer archetype with the Earthquake card, the 5 of Pentacles. You got 2 5s in this, but it's balanced with the 6 in the middle. So this is earthquakey stuff. This could be revelation that changes everything physically. Now, I'm going to clarify what I mean by this. There are times when inspirations come in that just destroy. Now, this is not the Tower card. We still have 3 more tarot to hit the table after this with the Mythic Tarot. But this is like a minor arcana version of the Tower card. Your foundations are being struck, but it's spiritual, right? It's 8th chakra. It's visionary intuition, if you like. Lower 3 chakras, survival intuition, that fight and flight, follow your gut stuff. Heart, third eye, and crown, creative intuition, kind of like getting that alchemy together to create, right, your passion. That 8th chakra up there is mystical power. It is spiritual power, and it is visionary intuition. This could be a piece of inspiration comes in that just blows your mind and blows your world apart, and you see this situation dealing with this vampiric archetype in some way, shape, or form in a completely different light, but you are shook by it. Not a bad place to get shook in your 8th chakra, although it changes everything. It really is like the Tower card, but in a more enlightening sense when you're dealing with the 8th chakra. We got to see what this looks like on the outside. My aquas, breathe. These are my divine masculines, my gods of air, and the sign of Aquarius. Please, 3 cards in clarity for this Aquarian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign in their work, career, vocation, November and December 2020, please. What's going on in their lower 3 chakras, their work, the physical world, that vampire archetype with the 5 of flames inside of them just a boiling? I don't feel like it's erupted yet, but it feels like it could any second. I mean, a change is coming, and a change will do you good. Sheryl Crow. What's that look like on the outside? Got the seeker in their career, heart, throat, third eye, and crown with the 6 of blades, and I feel that. It's like you want to be fair. You're trying to do this fairly. You're trying to think about a balanced, healthy way of doing this, right? If you've got any healer archetype in you in any way, shape, or form, everybody's got a healing family archetype, but it feels like you're trying to do the inner work here, trying to stay psychologically centered and grounded, at least mentally, right? What's that look like on the outside? Like you're seeking wisdom and truth. It's like, how do I deal with this? How do I learn from this? Well, you're an air sign, right? In their 8th chakra, please, they've got the Destroyer, their vocation, with the 5 of Pentacles. I mean, this is life-altering. Please, what does that look like on the outside? Let's look. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Like we said, in your work, you got the vampire archetype with Explosiono, right? Pele, the volcano, incredibly destructive, but incredibly creative. A true 5 that out of the ashes, so to speak, grows a whole new life. And with that, you got the Page of Cups. So look, there is an emotional reflection that needs to go on here, sure. Pages are messengers, but these could be more intuitive messages. You saying they're hungry. They are hungry. I could tell. Oh, wait until the autobiography is about my career. Whoa. My work, career, and vocation. My 3 different autobiographies that I'm writing. Because my career reads like fiction, and it's not. I have receipts. This is narcissist. Now maybe you are dealing with a narcissist. maybe you're dealing with a narcissist just because it is the card of Narcissus staring into the cup. But in a beginning of self-love and self-reflection, like I don't get a bad vibe from this, but I feel like this is a way of saying you just have to keep your cup full, right? The message is intuitively to feel it's like, ooh, they're hungry. I'm working from home today, right? Or if you work from home and this is going on in your home, interfering with your work, then it's really about self-reflection. It's really about, okay, something is draining me. I'm going to focus on me and I'm going to channel this. What is anger but passion blocked? Right? What is it? It's that child inside of us that's like, how dare you? I'll show you. It's drive. It's passion. But be careful of the anger stuff too, because anger, those voices need to be expressed, but they need to be expressed in a healthy way, right? So self-reflection, and be careful with the mirroring process. Some people take it way too literally. If you really, it's like, well, if they're a vampire, then where am I a vampire? I mean, that sort of thing may be interesting. Is it always helpful? If it gives you insight, it gives you insight. In terms of self-reflection, but really check out Greg Braden's the 7 scene mirrors, ESSENE mirrors, because there are 7 different mirrors. They're not just the mirror of now, which is usually what people think, oh, it's a mirror. So if they're an asshole, I must be an asshole. I mean, we all have moments, but there's the mirror of judgment, right? There's it's a whole other conversation. Greg Braden, GREGG, Hay House author, NASA scientist, I think at one point. In your career, as we said, you've got the seeker with this card of manipulation. But remember, if you have a headache and you take an aspirin, that's manipulation. You take an aspirin, you take a bufferin, it'll stop you suffering, right? With that seeker and with the Ace of Wands, that there is something new that comes there. This is something new you are dealing with in your career, or at least a quest has been issued by Zeus there wearing the golden fleece saying, go forth now and do as I tell you, my children, right? A new impulse, a new creative thing going on here. So I do feel like, particularly because Zeus is on this card, that you're getting ready for self-employment or a real independent bust-a-move kind of thing. And you're just trying to figure out, how can I balance this out so I don't lose my shit? Right? If you're already on the way out the door because you're in a work situation that drains you, either a person, the place itself, or the work, or what have you, maybe it's draining your money as well as your time and your energy, then to really know that there's this secret, it's like, I don't know what the next thing is, but you know what? I'm off on the quest. I'm off on the quest. I'm online, putting my resis out there. Wow, this really fits together, and I think you'll like the vocation part. I think this is just going to change this whole thing around, because what could be more perfect in the 8th chakra with the destroyer and earthquake and dealing with a vampire than the sun card? You have everything you need to deal with this vampire in the 8th chakra, but what does it take to get up there? Now, you're Aquarians, fixed air, find a mantra. Right? Find a prayer, find something, some kind of spiritual practice to ground that perspective, because this is just going to obliterate. This is such a happy, inspiring, destructive thing. Right? Like this light is going to destroy shadow. Truth is going to destroy illusion. This healthy vibe that you're kind of still integrating from that 8th chakra into, right? The inspiration hit the crown chakra. Now it's again the mental, your air signs, right? What do I say? What do I do? I feel like that's the place that you're in right now at the 6 of Blades. Right? How do I do this? Right? Back and forth, back and forth. But then when it hits, oh no. See, I think it might just be your vibe that just blows them away. Right? So there's a way of doing this where you can do it energetically. It doesn't mean you have to be sneaky. But like, for instance, well, my guides are saying pray for them or at them. I bless you, right? Because they can't take energy freely given. It has to be stolen. Go watch the Vampires and Witches. It's a really good vid. I love teaching. Well, you should meet my mom. She's a brilliant teacher. She was teaching me stuff while I was up there, just by hanging out, right? That's what teachers do. Teach by example. So altogether, I think a really, 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 truly beautiful work, career, vocation read, but not without its challenges, right? So may the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, and vocation this November and December 2020, that they may, you know, draw down the sun, right? That they may be that sunlight in their lives, absolutely shaking them free from this and destroying what needs to be destroyed within them so that their new life may begin, making way for new life, absolutely, as they seek balance on this new creative quest in their career, their passion driving them forward, even though I'm not exactly sure what they're doing necessarily, but so that any of this vampiric energy in their life that is draining them can be dealt with energetically, can be dealt with Pele the volcano. Sure, you want to play this game? You can't drain the sun, Dracula, right? So I'm going to really reflect into, may they really reflect into their own, filling their own cup, allowing no one to drain them, to fill themselves so completely that they overflow and give only of the overflow of self-love, giving themselves the love that only they can and the respect that only they can and the time and the space and the rest and the breath that only they can give themselves for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. That's a kick-ass read. I love my aquariums so much. So if any of this clicked for you, just hit thumbs up. No one will need to know. And who's checking your what you like and don't like on YouTube, right? And if you like me, if you like my work, please do subscribe. It's a slow and steady wins the race thing. I refuse to resort to bots. I don't even know what that is, but I'm not paying for bots. I'm not doing that. Forget it. I'm a Virgo. The gods would never let me get away with it. So and by all means, comment who's vampiring you. What's vampiring you? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to. Otherwise, wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed, first of all, of this holiday season, of your work, career, your vocation. May you channel Apollo, the god of healing and light and art and creativity and perfection through you in every way, shape, or form for the rest of this year and beyond, my darlings. Hail, farewell.